Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the food experience. Today's food experience, the kind folks over at Karinear sent me their dual cooktop. It's a traditional electric cooktop. It's not induction, therefore all your pots and pans will work perfectly on it. It features two 12-inch cooking surfaces. I've already used the cooktop several times to cook various things. In this example for this video, I'm cooking a penne alla Bolognese. But first, we're going to look at the features, and without further ado, here we go. Here's a look at the cooktop. Dual 12-inch cooking surfaces. Both sides have their own individual settings. You could set it for melt, simmer, steam, boil, fry, roast, stir fry, and fast heat. There's also a locking mechanism, therefore no one could adjust it by pressing the buttons accidentally. There's a timer mode. There are plus and minus buttons respectively, and they allow you to adjust the wattage or the temperature. Next to that, there's a function button that lets you select the various settings or the temperature. You'll also notice a fan comes on, that way it keeps the electronics cool. Here's a look at the underneath side. There are dual fans. There's your power cord, and it has 4 standoff plastic pegs. They are kind of a soft type of plastic, they're not rubber. There's a lot of ventilation on the back, and there's some additional ventilation on the sides here. Press the on-off button to turn it on. Select the function. If you want to change it to temperature, hold and press the function button, and you'll see this light go down to Fahrenheit. Right now it's at 800. You can use the minus to decrease it to 400. It goes 100 degrees at a time, all the way up to 1100. Hold the function down and it switches back up. And then press function again and rotate through the different wattages. Lowest is 200 watts, 400, 600, 800, 1000, 1200, 1400, and 1600 for the highest amount of watts. You could press the lock button. That way none of the settings can accidentally be pressed during your cooking. To remove the lock, press and hold it for 3 seconds. You could also set a timer. It goes by minutes at a time. You could certainly hold it down and it will go a lot faster. We're at 2 hours, 3 hours, etc., all the way up to 4 hours. And when you're finished, press the on-off button. It'll show you that it's hot. You'll see the message appear hot, and also you'll get an LED indicator by hot surface. Make sure it's totally cooled down and the hot message and LED is not visible before you attempt to touch the surface or pick it up. Let's get to cooking. On the cooktop, I have a large pot for the pasta and another pot that I'm going to use to make the sofrito, build the sauce, and brown the meat. I already put a good amount of extra virgin olive oil to cover the entire bottom of this pot. I'll turn it on and set the function for simmer. I'm going to add in the onions. Yeah, that's looking pretty darn good. So at this point, I'll add the carrots and the celery. Give that a good stir. Boy, I can't wait to taste this. I know it's going to be amazing. Next, I'm adding in a half a glass of red wine. And you want to let that simmer until the red wine evaporates. 1,000 grams of beef. At this time, you could add in some salt and black pepper. Continue breaking it up. Add in another half glass of wine. And you could use that wine to help deglaze the bottom a little bit. Adding in a jar of passata. Give that a quick stir. Adding in the tomato paste and the peeled Italian tomatoes. Give that a good stir. Also try to break up the tomatoes a little bit. You want this to continue simmering for an hour and a half. There should be light bubbles. I don't know if you could see it in mine, but it's bubbling very lightly. It's been cooking about an hour and a half, and wow, that totally has thickened up. But at this point, it's not done, and you want to let it cook for like another hour, hour and a half, somewhere around there, and add 1 liter of boiling water. Stir it up, and you're going to let that simmer until all that water evaporates. Then it'll be ready to serve. Could take an hour, hour and a half. Set the function to boil. The pasta has a few more minutes, and at this time I'm adding in some whole milk. You want to mix that in really well. Turning this burner off. Give this a quick stir. And it's a good consistency. Now that I added that milk, it broke it back up again a little bit. I tasted it, and it's dynamite. You want to get the pasta in there pretty quick. And I'm turning this one off as well. And I want to be kind of gentle on these. But I definitely want them all to get a nice coating. Get the meat and the sauce worked inside of that penne pasta. But like I said, be gentle. You don't want to go crazy on this. Look at that. That looks great. I am so hungry. Haven't eaten since lunchtime, and it's now, it's about 11 p.m. But there you go. That looks so good. I'll also dust it with some Parmigiano Reggiano. That's always a good touch to any pasta meal. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. That was a look at the Karinear dual 12-inch electric cooktop. Hey, I really like this thing. You saw in my little video, I made a Bolognese sauce and some pasta, some penne pasta. That was so good. I've used it to cook breakfast. I've used it to cook a couple other meals. So far, this thing is working great. As far as the performance is concerned, I really get about the same performance as I do with the stovetop that it's sitting on top of right now, which is also an electric range. Good thing about it though, it's portable, and I used it on a prep cart that I have that I'm also reviewing really soon. Another feature that I didn't mention is it could be used as a drop-in. So it comes with brackets that you can mount on the side. It has mounting brackets along with holes, and you can opt not to install the plastic feet. That way it'll just drop right in and be your regular cooktop. I think the controls are pretty easy to use. I showed you at the beginning of the video how to make all the adjustments and how you could lock it, how you could set a timer. I think it's definitely pretty functional, and each side has their own settings independent of one another. As far as comparing it to an induction cooktop, you got to remember induction cooktops require to have a metal bottom on the bottom of the pan, and not all of them will work. For instance, this pot right here will not work on an induction. This pot does work on an induction. So it's kind of hit or miss, or you at least need to make sure that the pan or pot you are buying is induction compatible. And induction does heat up a lot faster, I am going to say that. Also, I want to mention one more thing. When I set this to simmer, it is a nice, perfect simmer. Something that I'm not really able to get with my induction, because the induction has a jump in temperature that simmers right in the middle, so either it's too strong or it's not strong enough. If you're going to compare this to a regular stovetop, you're really going to get about the same performance, but I really like that it is portable. Also, cleaning this thing up is a breeze. Cleaning the surface on this white stovetop, I can never get it to look good. It has like permanent brown marks. On this one, I mean, true, I've only had it for a few weeks, but it always cleans up very nicely. If you're interested in purchasing this or learning more about it, I'll also put a link back to the manufacturer's website where you can check out this and other products that they offer. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, drop me a line below. I thoroughly enjoy hearing from you. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Before you leave, I got all kinds of good things coming up. So until next time, have a stellar day, be excellent, and most of all, remember me. I'm KJ Andy O, your food experience host with the most. Y'all take care, and I'll see you next time.